Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, De-Influenced. Hi.
Hello.
We're back.
I survived your wrath in that doctor's room.
Oh my gosh, stop.
After you publicly shamed me.
Where? Online or in the office?
To the internet.
Yeah. I didn't know you still watch my stories.
I did. I watched that day and I laughed.
Do you watch my stories every day?
Not every day, no.
Why? That's so weird.
Oh, you think that's weird?
I find it odd.
Really?
Yeah. Why would you not watch my stories every day? I feel like
I just don't really watch anyone's stories.
But not even your wife?
Well, babe, I love you. I'm living the story with you. I like our version of the story.
Aren't you worried of what I'm talking about?
No.
No?
No, because there's nothing that we can talk about, and I think we'll prove this today.
Oh, God, no, stop.
There's nothing that we can talk about that I will care about the opinions of others more than I do right now, which is zero.
Well, I admit I had a crazy moment, but I wasn't wrong for what I was feeling. And I really wasn't wrong for any part of it, to be honest.
Okay. Let's just not talk about it.
No,
I don't think you're wrong either, to be clear.
I wasn't wrong, but I did the way I didn't even handle it poorly. I think I was straight up. I didn't say anything mean. I handled it well. It was just a little outside of myself.
Yeah.
And then I was really upset with you for like the next, I don't know, maybe 12 hours.
No, on the plane to Midland, you literally looked at me and you go, can you just not talk to me or look at me right now?
I did not say that. I told you I don't like whenever you stick your tongue out.
That's true.
He'll say things and then he'll stick his tongue out and like
that's
bite
like a
his
joke.
tongue.
Like I'm like,
and I'm like, I hate when you do that. Like, don't do that. And then he goes like this, like, whoa. But yeah, I
really should have known, because on the way to that doctor's office, I think that the verbatim what you said to me was, babe, like I had been talking for like 60 seconds and you were just silent. And then you go, babe, I love you, but I just really don't want to talk to you right now.
At least I prefaced.
You did. And I should have known going into the doctor's office that I should have been on my best behavior.
Yeah. Well, let me tell people what you did.
Okay. You tell your version and then I'll tell my version.
Okay.
And we'll decide who's crazy.
Okay. We will. God, you're already kind of pissing me off again. Okay. So I go to my doctor's appointment. It's like my 17-week checkup. I have been feeling so bad. And trust me, I've been pregnant 2 times before. I've done through the first trimesters. But what's happening in my recent, like the last 3 or 4 weeks, is I hit this point of exhaustion, y'all, where like I can't even function daily. Like I have to hit the hay. Stop. You're already laughing and I want to punch you. It's not funny. This is so annoying.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what it is about this topic that just I get the giggles.
Stop. Stop. I'm so mad right now. Okay. So Jordan, I'm literally going to punch you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Stop, I'm talking. Okay.
I know.
So I get so
Your feelings are valid.
Okay. I get so tired and I've been taking like 2 hours. Stop, Jordan,
Okay.
don't even look at me. I have to take 2-hour naps every day. And it's like really, I know that it's like there's something wrong. So I'm looking forward to this appointment. And I finally get to tell my doctor, but like, when you're pregnant, obviously, like everybody's going to be like, oh, your gums are bleeding, you're pregnant. Oh, you're tired, you're pregnant. Oh, your head hurts, you're pregnant. Like, you're pregnant is the answer to everything. But I'm also like, I could have a deficiency in iron. I could have a deficiency in some type of mineral. And unless I explain and advocate for myself and take it seriously, then this doctor is just going to say, oh, you're pregnant to every single like issue that I have. So I'm like really trying to like let her know how tired I've been feeling. Like it's like fatigue to the next level where I feel like I can't even put the kids in bed at night. Like I'm so tired. And as I'm telling her this, like, the doctor kind of like looks at Jordan and is like, oh yeah, like has she been, and Jordan laughs and goes, well, she's pregnant. And then the doctor kind of giggled back because Jordan was laughing.
This is the big debate. I want to just be clear about this story. The big mystery, and I am so sure that I'm right that I almost want to call the OBGYN.
I was there. I watched it happen.
No.
You said, oh, well, the doctor goes, really? Like, Jordan, has she been sleeping a lot more? And Jordan goes, well, I mean, she is pregnant.
No. The big debate is, did she laugh first?
I don't care who laughed first. Why would you even say that?
Because she laughed first, so I laughed, and you say that's inconsequential to this argument.
She was smiling.
Yeah, and then I started laughing, and then you accused me of making this whole...
No, okay, so let me tell the story. So then he says, oh, well, she's pregnant, and I look at him, and I go, you're annoying me right now. Right? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, you're annoying me right now in front of the doctor, and the doctor goes, like, whoop, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to explain how I'm feeling, and you're minimizing it. Like, you're making it not a big deal, so therefore she's not going to get my blood work taken or like blood work ordered because you guys are just laughing, you know, blaming the pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And so then I was like, you're annoying me. Like, I'm so upset because I'm trying over here to like take care of myself and you're minimizing it. So then I snap at him, and then in the moment he goes, once again, he goes, and I was like, I like roll my eyes. I was so angry. So then we get in the car, and this is what pisses me off the most, is like, he just acts like everything's normal. And so this was the part where things got a little crazy.
Can we talk, before we get to the car scene, can we talk about the doctor scene for a second?
Does it matter?
I don't know. I think it does.
It doesn't matter. Like, you're like...
I'm defending my honor here.
No, you're wrong. Like, you're just wrong. Like, you shouldn't have said anything, to be honest. And you should just agree with me.
Okay. Fair.
Right? I mean, it's my body. Like, I'm telling her how I feel. What you don't know how I feel. Like, don't defend just the fact that I'm pregnant.
But she laughed first.
No, nobody was laughing. Nobody was laughing. You shouldn't have said anything. You should be like, Danny, I don't know. Do you feel like you're sleeping more?
No, I acknowledge that. You know what? Next time, my lips are shut and
Yeah.
sealed. But she did ask me the question. And here's why I think she was laughing, and then therefore I laughed, is because you are taking 2-hour naps a day, okay? And
what?
We all know you. You don't like taking 2-hour naps. You want to be going. And so
I
what
feel
Joy
so
Cuddy,
horrible that I feel like I have to lay down. Like, that's miserable whenever you feel like you can't even like feed your kids dinner because you're so tired.
No, I know. But what she was getting at was, Danny, are you really feeling overly tired, or do you just not want to be taking 2-hour naps? Like, is this a Danny versus Danny situation?
No, I feel sick so I have to lay down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would know that because you're not me.
No, that's true. But she then smiled at me because she was like, it's Danny versus Danny.
No, it's not.
Then I started laughing.
Yeah, I'm getting pissed off again.
Okay.
I'm really getting pissed off about people telling me how I'm feeling.
You're so right. Okay. So she should not have looked at me and laughed. And honestly, I'm going to call her today and I'm going to say, listen, what you did was wrong. It got me in trouble for 48 hours. And if you do not...
No, this is where it gets really so ridiculous. Okay, so then, I just wish I wish there was a camera to even explain the car scene. So, like, we're headed home and Jordan's not talking. And I'm like, you better freaking apologize for what you just did in there. And he doesn't acknowledge that he did anything. So
I'm unaware. So I'm like thinking about tomorrow.
We're halfway through. I go, I'm upset with you. Do you want to know why? Like, I had to bring it up. I'm the one bringing it up. Okay. And he's like, yeah, tell me what I did. And he's already giggling like he's giggling. Like, he's like laughing. And I'm like, babe, it's not funny. And we both just start hysterically laughing. Like, we are like dying laughing. And I'm like, babe, it's not funny. Like, kind of like we are now.
Yeah.
And then the laugh turns into sobs of like tears.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't feel good. And like, it literally switches so fast. Like, the hormones just went like from one spectrum to the next. And then I'm like,
blink of an eye.
I'm like, I don't feel good. And then like, as I'm just crying, laughing, I'm like still giggling. Like, it was so weird. Like, it was weird.
Yeah. So it was funny because in that moment we started laughing because you looked at me and then I started laughing and then you go, you're annoying me so much. And then you started laughing, matching my laugh. And in that moment, I remember looking ahead to see if the light turned green. And I said, this is so sweet. This is like a funny pregnancy moment that we're going to like remember forever. And then I look back to my right and then there's tears rolling down your face. And I'm like, oh, I have to totally pivot here. And so I was like, I am so sorry that you feel this way. It's not fair. And then I was still convinced in my mind that, yes, you're struggling with pregnancy. And so I was like, babe, let me pull off at Walgreens. Let's get you some electrolytes. But I really had to get out of the car because I could not stop laughing. And I knew that the more that I laughed, the more hours that were going to be added to this reconciliation between us. And I got out of that car and I just walked into that Walgreens and I just started busting out laughing. And then we didn't talk for a day. And then in the closet, I was like, we had to leave for Midland the next day. I was like, and so many good things happened that day. I was like, babe, come on. We have so many good things happening. Like, let's just not fight. And then you were like, well, do you know what you did wrong? And then I started laughing again and I couldn't help it. And I can't help it now. And it is true. Your body is so harsh right now. I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not even funny. It's not fair. What you are going through as a pregnant, beautiful woman is not fair.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate that.
And honestly, when I watched your stories about publicly shaming me, I laughed too. I literally go, Stella, look at what mommy posted. Oh, man.
Why did you show Stella?
Oh, yeah, she was sitting by me and she goes, Daddy, why are you laughing? I go, just what mommy posted. I said, she's mad at me. And then I was like, she's going to be out with her friends. It's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, and then there was like, that day was like the roller coaster of emotions. I then went straight to see It Ends With Us with all my girlfriends, which is a remake of the Colleen Hoover book, It Ends With Us. And, man, I just have to say, like, before you see that movie, just don't wear any mascara, don't wear any makeup, go with your girlfriends, just expect to be crying. The last time I cried like that was when we saw The Whale. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You just couldn't handle when he just gets up out of his chair. You just break down crying.
I still I can't. Yeah, it was like the same level of crying, but I will say, and I don't know if it was just I was pregnant and it was like me and Ellie, but like literally I feel like our friend group was like so loud. Like we were crying so hard that it was like embarrassing. Like I was like, guys, we have to get it together. We're going to get kicked out of here. But Ellie couldn't even stand up. Like we actually cried so hard that we like were out of napkins that Tiffany had to pull a diaper out of her bag, like because she had some extra diapers, and we were using the diaper to wipe our tears and blow our nose because we were like crying so hard.
Is that just a bunch of pregnant people like in the room, or
I don't
is that
know? I couldn't figure it out. But then
is the movie actually that sad?
No, we went to the bathroom after, and like there were all these like 18-year-olds in there crying. So we're like, okay, cool. Like it's not just us. Like it's a sad movie.
Yeah.
Which if you read the book, like it's sad, but it's about like a domestic. It's about domestic violence, like a victim of domestic violence. But the way that the movie was so good. Like I'm going to be honest. I was such a hater going in because when they remake any books into movies, I just am always skeptical. I'm like, this is going to be so freaking cheesy.
Right.
Like there was a lot of hate that Blake Lively was getting online, not Blake Lively, but the movie in general for like what she was wearing in the show. Like, no, like she wasn't, people didn't picture her as the character. And I don't think that I did too, but like, I was like, I feel like people will love, like everybody always loves Blake Lively. Like she can't do anything wrong. But who they chose to play the young version of Blake Lively, her name is Lily in the book. And then it was perfect casting. Like everybody, in my opinion, was perfectly cast. Yeah. So, but it's gut wrenching. There's a lot of drama with that movie right now.
Like what? Do you think I would like it? Probably not.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it like a rom-com?
No, it's not. It's not like a comedy, but yeah, I do.
Really?
I do feel like you would like it.
Okay.
You don't really like any movie that's not like action or
I know.
So it maybe, but I think because like you like Blake Lively, I feel like you would like it, know. She's really good in the movie too. I will say I've never felt like she's been like a great actress. Like I just love her. I love her as a person. She's beautiful. She's like, but I never really thought, oh, Blake Lively's in it. Like she was really good in this movie. There's this scene that Ryan Reynolds, that's her husband, right? Ryan wrote, and it's so funny that I found out that there's a lot of, maybe it's people are saying that there's drama between the cast because of this scene, but there's this scene that kind of like towards the beginning that Ryan Reynolds wrote when both of the main characters are up on a rooftop, and I remember sitting there thinking, she's acting this scene out so well. Like it is written so well, like it was amazing. And then I found out that Ryan wrote that portion of the movie, which I thought was interesting.
Is that part of the drama?
So, okay, there is drama because the entire cast has been promoting the movie. They're going, all over doing photo shoots and doing events. And Justin Baldoni, who plays one of the main characters, but also is the director, I believe. Fact check, director or producer? Director. Okay, so Justin Baldoni, who's one of the main characters, also director, is not doing any of the press with his fellow castmates. So, and not only that, but like most of like Blake Lively, Colleen Hoover, all unfollowed him on Instagram.
Oh,
and
this is real.
Yeah, and then when they did like the big premiere, they all showed up to the premiere, and Justin Baldoni did not take pictures with the group. Like he was totally separate, only took pictures with his wife. Everyone is pictured together. They always have like the main characters together, and Justin, who is literally like the main character, is not in any of the photos. So then there's this kind of like cryptic interview that one of the co-stars do. I forgot what her name is, but she's also like, she plays Blake Lively's best friend. And they ask like, how is the filming of the movie? And she's on the red carpet and she's like, yeah, basically I'm watching Justin Baldoni direct, and he's also acting, and I'm watching it all go down, and I just would never want to do that. I never want to like basically play two roles. I saw it all go down, and it's like way too much. Like she kind of like.
Who said this, Blake?
Blake Lively's co-star.
Okay. Like
one of the co-stars who plays Blake Lively's best friend. And you can tell that she's kind of taking like little jabs at Baldoni, saying like, him being director and actor was way too much to watch, and I would never want that to happen again. Like, kind of giving jabs. And so a lot of people were also upset online, because then I was like, I gotta go figure out what's going on. So I went down like the TikTok rabbit hole. A lot of people are upset with Blake and Ryan because they feel like they used this opportunity to promote Deadpool, which Blake Lively is also in, and then also Blake Lively's new hair care line. And they feel like it should have just been celebrating like the message behind the book, and also bringing awareness to domestic abuse victims. And instead it was like, she's not really advocating for the message. She's just trying to sell her hair care brand, or she's just, which I mean, like that messaging I think is a little bit further of a stretch, because I think Blake Lively is just like doing her best. But it is such a sensitive topic with the movie, like what they're talking about. So it's like, but I wouldn't fall. It's not like a reason why I wouldn't support Blake Lively in the
Couldn't
future.
That just been like bad timing, or are they saying it was like calculated timing on her part?
Well, babe, it's definitely calculated timing. She launched her hair care like the week before the movie premiered.
Oh.
Like, of course they're trying to capitalize on it.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I'm just like, I don't think that's necessarily like a horrible thing, as long as you communicate the messages for both.
Did Colleen unfollow Blake Lively too?
No, everybody's like seems to be against Baldoni. So then I saw this article that is totally not a reliable source. I literally think it was like Perez Hilton. So I'm not saying that this is what it was, but like there was a headline that was like Baldoni was borderline abusive to Blake Lively on set, which I think it was more like probably like verbal abuse. But then you go to the comments and like, let me tell you, Baldoni has his crew and his like Baldoni fans. Like apparently he's done a lot for like the community, like a lot of like, He's done like TED Talks and like he's like a big
community?
advocate for just like I guess females in general. Like apparently he's like a really great guy and does a lot to like I guess amplify female voices. Like I don't know, he does a lot and people really defend him. Like they are like if you look at the you never know like the actual like percentages of people that are hit like who's just being the loudest. But I'm just saying online like if like the outside perspective, it's like everybody's team Baldoni. Everybody's like against Blake. But I think it's like one of those things too where it's like Blake is hitting that point where she is kind of like when Taylor Swift hit that point where it's just like, oh, or even Reese Witherspoon, oh, she can do nothing wrong. And not everybody's just waiting for her to do something wrong. And so it's like, let's just find the one little thing that she does wrong. And it's like, oh, she launched her hair care brand instead of talking about domestic abuse victims, And it's like they're trying, and maybe that is true, but it does seem like sometimes I feel like people are just trying to team up to find the thing.
What if all of this was just a strategy to promote the movie?
I've thought about that too, but it's too damaging.
Really?
Yeah, I think what's happening to both sides, it's getting like a little out of hand, and I think it's very frustrating because it's taking away like from the point and the heart of the movie. I don't think that this is a movie that people would want to play these games with. It's like a very like serious topic.
You don't think?
Yeah, and this is also a very personal story. It's like Colleen Hoover's parents' story.
True. I think that this is just how you sell movies these days, though. Like, I think that you have to have some element of outrage or controversy, or I don't think you're going to sell tickets. Like, even us talking about this on the podcast is going to drive so many ticket sales.
Yeah.
But I would say, not from our podcast, I'm saying the conversation.
Yeah, we're big movie influencers.
No, I'm saying like from.
No, I would want to, like, if I saw all the drama, I actually saw the movie before the drama. And then I talked about the movie on my stories, and then like everybody in my stories was like, well, have you seen the drama? And I was like,
I know. See, I think it's like some movie studio or promoter has realized this formula of like, you have to kind of stoke outrage amongst this demographic of, no offense, predominantly females, most likely.
No, it's not even outrage. It's also like when Glenn Powell was apparently dating Sydney
exactly.
Sweeney.
And she was like engaged, right?
Yeah, she was like, they were not dating.
But as like a layperson, like I would have just seen that from clips or read the headlines and been like, oh, wow, that's so like, crazy. I got to go see the movie now and that's got to be like a timeless strategy for like rom-coms.
Yeah,
it's like to stoke the fire between the co-stars.
I agree with you. I just don't believe that they would do that for this movie. Once again, it's just too serious.
Yeah.
It's not a comedy.
But sometimes I think promoters probably play with fire, which is the strategy, and sometimes it's
working.
Like,
and maybe
it gets people burned like maybe bigger than they want it to. And
maybe they're feeding these messages to the media, but maybe the co-stars like didn't even know that they were going to be brought into this narrative. Because I just can't imagine that Blake would be cool with this. But I don't know.
I think that like what Ryan Reynolds, her husband, is known for is...
Oh, and then there was a part... Okay, so sorry, before you go on. People were upset people were saying that Justin Baldoni was upset because Ryan Reynolds inserted himself and wrote that scene. And that apparently Blake Lively this is all, speculation.
Yeah.
It's not saying this is true. But like allegedly Blake Lively is difficult to work with because she was a producer on set. And apparently she's like very, not controlling, but like she's not just like going to give in. And like there was just like tension
for sure.
And so apparently people are like, why is Ryan Reynolds coming over to like he has his own movie, like stay in your lane and like let Baldoni do his work.
But I think that Ryan Reynolds is such a known behind the scenes, and honestly not even behind the scenes these days, I think he is known as such a prominent marketer. Like I was reading a story about how he got Deadpool to happen. And, if you look at Deadpool, it was like the first R-rated superhero movie that they did. Mm-hmm. I don't remember who did it. I think it's Disney, right? Yeah, I think it's Disney. But it was like he had a really hard time getting that to sell up the ladder. And he basically begged for the movie to happen. And the executives were like, no, we're not going to do it. It's too out there. So there was like a leaked footage on the internet of like a Deadpool scene, and a lot of people think that he leaked it to get the movie made. And then he did the most outrageous stunts to promote this movie. Like, you know, really played into the relationship with Hugh Jackman. He really like, if you've ever watched the movie, it's really crass. And so
isn't it really like bloody too?
Really bloody, really crass. And so he like really played into the outrage to promote the movie, and it was a huge success.
Yeah.
And so, and he's done the same thing with like Mint Mobile. He did it with his gin. Like he's a very successful leveraging outrage and marketing tactics to do this.
And you can see that trickle into Betty Buzz, which is her drink brand. When she like did her commercials for this, she was like, it like the way that they did her, like she broke the fourth wall and was like talking to her, and it was like very Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. It was very Ryan.
So I think he probably has an influence on a lot of her projects. I think he's a very smart guy and he knows how to leverage outrage. If I were him, I think that probably what happened was he was like, listen, let's promote this movie. All of you guys go unfollow Justin Baldoni and like, let's just see where the narrative goes.
I love your conspiracy theory mindset.
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory.
So extreme. No.
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. That's all you have to do. And you don't know where the narrative's going to go, but it's such a good way to promote the movie. Is like,
he's like, guys, everybody go unfollow Justin, and Justin, don't take any pictures with us. Let's see what happens.
Justin is the director of the movie and a star of the movie. He gets points on the back end based on how many ticket sales there are. You got to believe that there's some possibility that he agreed to this and was like, okay, I won't take pictures with you guys. Let's keep this internet narrative going and like, let's sell tickets to this movie. It's genius.
It's genius. I'll give you that. It is crazy if Baldoni is like a character that can like, if he can separate himself that much from his own person and like from his brand and who he like, but most people aren't like that. Those people are more
I think all Hollywood actors are. I think they're trained to.
I think they're more normal and sensitive than you think.
Maybe.
I think that Blake Lively's probably like upset and crying about some of these things.
Yeah. It's kind of like when I like the conspiracy of when Brazilian bum cream, what's it called?
Oh yeah, the Sol de Janeiro.
Yeah, Sol de Janeiro. I said that like a competitor leaked it. Like that's probably like conspiracy. One doesn't.
You're leaning conspiracy.
This one doesn't feel conspiracy to me though. But maybe it's too much genius applied to a more simple
I think it's genuine drama.
Wow.
Yeah. And Colleen is like, she's just an author. She's not like a Hollywood superstar.
Yeah.
She's not going to unfollow Baldoni unless there's something like really going on.
Tide, stars fall lost in boundless flight. Cold winds, breath on the air. Eyes watching in despair. Neon dreams flicker, burn, glare. Truths fade, lost, no one aware. Turn and face the endless dark. Lost and found with every spark. Echoes scream, silent remarks. In the void we leave our marks. Haunting cries, memories fade. Siren songs run the parade. Fractured minds splintered arcade. Soul's reflection, hollow charade. Forgotten path, memories chained. Heartbeats synchronic pain.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like it is upsetting a lot of people. I don't know. It is kind of giving Ryan Reynolds a little bit.
I know. Think about it.
What do you guys think? Leave a comment.
Speaking
I'm
of
curious what y'all think.
Speaking of actors, I had a really interesting conversation with our CPA.
Okay. Yeah, that's where the most interesting conversations happen for Jordan on his day-to-day basis.
No, the tie-in here is, did you hear about this bill that was passed in Illinois for child actors?
Oh, yeah.
But not child actors, influencer child actors. So like basically parents who put their kids in content. There was this bill that was rallied for and I think passed in Illinois, and it basically granted, it outlines that if you put your children in content, you have to give them a percentage of the revenue.
Oh, that is crazy.
I'm gonna actually, I don't want to mess this up. I'm going to read this. So New Illinois law requiring payment for children featured in content. On July 1, the state of Illinois officially enacted an amendment to its existing child labor law, which specifically states that children under the age of 16 are entitled to a share of the revenue from their adult guardians' vlogging content, defined in the bill as content shared on an online platform in exchange for compensation. According to the law, if a child appears in at least 30% of a parent's or caregiver's social media content over the course of 30 days, the minor is entitled to monetary compensation. Adults are required to set aside those funds to be put in a trust, which the minor can access when they turn 18. The law also allows child influencers to take action against parents who failed to properly compensate them for their work. So basically, what's so interesting about this conversation is, and I'll be totally transparent about how we handle this, and everyone is, I think, in the influencer space with kids, this is like new precedent. So I don't know if there's a playbook for it, but here's how we handled it is we have a salary for our employees, obviously, and then we have a 401k profit share. So our employees make a percentage of the profit, and then they also like have a 401k match by us. Okay. So we, about a year ago, when our kids turned 1 and 2, we basically decided to put them on payroll. So we said, okay, listen, this is a way for us to compensate our kids, to build a nest egg for them moving forward. There's a clause in our, like for all of our employees, that you have to be here for a year before you're eligible for the 401k profit share program. So Stella is now eligible for that. So Stella has a 401k account and a profit share that she gets money that is, for right now, it goes into a protected account that we control when she gets that, right? So it's kind of like a trust where we say, hey, we don't want to get her to get this until she's 35,
okay,
right? So what's so interesting is that the 401k profit share and how much we're able to contribute is based on her salary. So like right now, like their salary is like, you know, it's low, right? It's like 30,000 or 40,000, right? Because
more than what I was making my first couple of years out of college.
It has to, the really confusing thing for influencers right now is it has to be qualified by the IRS as like fair and reasonable. Okay. So like you can't make a case, I don't think, for a child of that age making 100,000. So we said, okay, 30 or 40,000. And so with this bill, I actually called our CPA and I was like, hey, is this enough precedent to increase her salary so that we can fully max out the 401k profit share? Because right now we can't based on her salary level. And so it just opened up this really interesting discussion around should we increase her salary? And so let me tell you the pros and cons of how we do it. If I were to have increased our kids' salaries, there's probably precedent to do it now because of Illinois. But if I increase their salary, right now we only increase it enough to max out their 401k. So there would be leftover funds that would go into, don't quote me on this, but it's like a child protected bank account.
Okay.
So let's say we pay them $100K a year now. And so now there's overflow money that's going into this bank account. Well, that bank account goes to them regardless when they're 21. So you can't control it like a trust.
Don't love that. What if they're not in a good place?
So our CPA was basically saying, hey, here's why I don't advise that you pay them more, because it is going to be going into this thing and you don't know where your kids are going to be at or if they're going to be ready for a lump sum. And he says, I see it all the time where parents with good intention put a lot of money in this parent guardian bank account, but then no matter what, the state has to give it to them when they're 21. So that was like a really interesting thing. And so as we talked through this like Illinois bill, I like still am trying to figure out like how I feel about it.
Question. So let's say that you pay your child, it sounds like they have to pay, it says if did you read the second paragraph according to the law? So if a child appears in at least 30% of a parent or caregiver's social media content over the course of 30 days, the minor is entitled to monetary compensation.
Yeah.
So if your child is in 100% of your content, they're entitled to at least 50%.
Right.
And that's obviously probably of your net earnings. Like, are these children taxed?
Yeah. So like Stella and Stratton they have tax returns.
So do they have tax deductions?
No.